Saturday, September 17th at Fontana Dam. Look at that. Me, Jeff, Jack, and Keith back at it. So it's going to be 77 miles, completely hiking the Smoky Mountain Park, one end to the other, in one gigantic trip. So buckle up. All right, entering the park. Here we go. I think we got like a 12-ish mile day slated for today. Beautiful weather right now. I think it's, I don't know, upper 60s, maybe super low 70s. And we're projecting to get more of that pretty much all week. It's uncanny how awesome the weather is. So,
knock on something.
Jeff, what do you say, man?
I'm excited. We made it to the national park. Good to go. A lot of bear warnings at the shelters.
Yeah, that's
this
right.
Week,
yeah.
So a pretty good chance we're going to see a bear.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of them that got closed when we were in the planning stages, and we had to do kind of a workaround. Wild turkey. All right, we've been hiking for a couple hours. Just broke out of the woods for this visual treat. Super cool. Oh, Purple Mountain's Majesty. All right, we made it to the tower, which is, I think, 4-point-something miles in.
4.7.
4.7. And I made it to the second level of the tower before locking up with fear. Keith is the third level. He's a madman.
I'm 1.5.
I know, that's 1.5 is where I started really feeling it, man. Like my body did not want to cooperate anymore. But killer view up here. It's cool. I just wish I had the guts to go higher. Okay, about 2 in the afternoon on day 1. We're all settling in now. Our beginning hiker energy is dissipated, and we're kind of like getting down to our normal hiking pace. The physical reality is starting to set in, and just trucking along. I think if we keep up to where we're going, we should hit camp at dusk. We'll see. I don't know, I'm really enjoying being out in the woods, especially with all my friends. Okay, this is Backcountry Campsite 113, or Birch Springs Campground, and it is currently closed due to bear activity. So the other guys are good on water. I only packed a liter, so I got to come down here and fill up. And rumor has it that that tent right there was set up by the rangers, and there is I guess a video camera inside of it, and they're trying to keep track of this nuisance bear that's stalking this camping area, and when he relinquishes, they will reopen the area. So I always wondered how they work that, if they would like capture the bear and relocate it, or just close the camping area until the bear leaves, and it's the latter. So that's very interesting. Let me get some water and keep my head on a swivel. Oh, yeah, that's not a good sight. Right underneath the bear wires. Discharged an abandoned can of bear spray. That makes you feel good. All right, we're picking our way down this mountain. I think we're about 10 miles into our day. Probably 2 more to get to Molly's Ridge. That's going to be a good uphill push for the last 2 of the day. I think we're all feeling it. The honeymoon's over. Our bodies are a little tired now. But man, the woods are so quiet. that I think I just realized I have tinnitus. It's like, I'm hearing this like constant slight ringing that I never heard before, but it's so quiet out here that it's like standing out now. But I'll bring you back when we get to either the water source or Molly's Ridge, catch you up. So the water situation's been challenging so far this trip. The first refill I had was kind of like a mud hole, and this one here is rated as a reliable water source, and it's just a trickle. But I don't know if I ever covered the process, but basically what I do is I get this CNOC bag here, this portion of the system, underneath that trickle, and fill it up as much as I can. Then I attach the Sawyer filter with this cleaning coupling to the CNOC bag. That's a perfect fit. And then on the bottom of that, the smart water bottle. So their dirty water goes from the CNOC through the filter into the smart water bottle, which I have to back it off a quarter turn to let the air out while the water's going in. But that water is now potable. That's how it works. I gotta videotape this too, because I've never seen anything like this. So the water source that we're filling up at is right over there, and it looks like some hiker came in here and basically methodically laid out an entire backpack full of hiking food. These are all full bags. Just left them here. Looks like they've been here for a while. And some kind of animal came through and was rooting around over here and threw some dirt all over the bags like they could smell it. It was, man, that might have just happened. That whole situation though makes me nervous. Like, why would somebody do that? All right, pulling into Molly's Ridge shelter. A super cool flower field all around it.
Oh.
Nice work, Keith.
Oh, thank you. That was quite the challenge.
Okay, it's the 18th, 61 degrees at Molly's Ridge shelter. We just packed up. Actually slept in a tent back behind a shelter, but we're getting ready to take off for the day. How'd you sleep?
Just like normal out here.
Yeah, like about as good as you can sleep in the woods, which is not that awesome.
Wake up like 15 times, roll over,
Yes.
go back to sleep.
Yep. Feels normal. All right, everybody's excited for day 2. A little bit sore from day 1. Here we go. All right, we hiked 12 miles yesterday to get to that Molly's Ridge shelter. And none of us really had the horsepower to build a fire. And it was getting later, and the area was kind of picked clean anyway. So we didn't do that last night. I wish we did. I think having a campfire is kind of like an integral part of the camping experience. And we were just talking about how all the Smoky Mountain shelters have fireplaces in them. And I was saying that I think if they rebuilt them today, they would probably omit that, because the whole Leave No Trace movement is kind of moving away from campfires. I'm not saying they're discouraged. Well, they are discouraging it, but they're not saying you can't do it. But they're just like, you know, we don't want you to build a fire unless you absolutely have to, for the preservation of the woods. And that's kind of a shame, because I enjoy that, man. I mean, that's like a huge part of the camping experience. We were all saying we like having a campfire, and I mean, I kind of get where they're coming from, because there's a lot more people on the trail these days than there was when they built that shelter. So, you know, they're trying to keep the woods in good shape. But that's kind of the point of coming out here, is camping. You know, you have a campfire. Okay, you're looking at bear poop. So, based on the size of that, we can extrapolate this butthole size of the bear and then reconstruct the bear itself. So I'm thinking this is a big bear, or it's got a disproportionately large butthole. We don't know. All right, we just made it to the top of Rocky Top Mountain, and it's a nice view up here. A little hazy, and I mean, like, when you're looking at it in person, it's definitely better than what shows up on the video, but this is super cool. And then naturally, when we got up here, there was a whole herd of Tennessee fans. So, you Tennessee people watching this video, you probably already got the song in your head. But I was talking earlier how since I've moved to Tennessee and I've got more exposure to the mountains, it's kind of tempered my appreciation of them, but I take that back. This is super cool. All right, so this trek coming down off of, I think it's Thunderhead or Thunderstruck, Thunder something mountain, is very rocky and it's deeply rutted, so it is arduous. I think I talked about this in one of my prior videos. This is a tough downhill, and I've never had to do it in the other direction, but Jeff was saying, thank God we're not doing that, because there's like 3-foot drop-offs, and I mean, it's brutal. And Billy goat up that thing.
Good one.
I got it. Keep going.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Wrapping up a 12-mile day, approaching Derrick Knob now, and I know how it feels when sailors see land. Wow, that was a tough day. Body report, my feet are a little sore, but surprisingly doing well. Legs are definitely rubber. But we made it. Whew. Derrick Knob. We found a bunch of these nuts on the trail, and if you can help us identify them, please comment below, because we've been talking about them for days. Got a fire inside the shelter in the Smokies. How quaint is that? We didn't do it. We owe it to somebody else that was here before us. God bless those guys. All right, it's Monday, September 19th. We set out from Derrick Knob a little while ago. I think we got like a 7-point-something mile day today. Temperature last night, probably about the same. I mean, probably high 50s, low 60s. Very comfortable sleeping weather. We all slept like babies, meaning that we woke up about every hour, cried a little bit, and then went back to bed. Pretty uneventful last night. We did have one interesting snore sleeper next to us. It was a combination of a loud snore and then kind of like a moan mixed in. But probably a good time to go over clothing. For this trip, my hiking ensemble consists of my Merrell trekking shoes. I got some darn tough, like low riding hiking socks. Ex Officio 9-inch boxer briefs. Columbia summer weight hiking pants with no legs. My pant legs are at home. And then a 50% merino wool, 50% cotton t-shirt. And I was a little jury out on how that thing was going to perform, because everybody knows cotton kills and you can't bring it camping or you're going to die. But for what we're doing out here, so far it's worked pretty good. It has definitely mitigated body odor, and I don't know, it seems like it's drying out just as fast as the pure merino wool ones. Definitely not as quick as like a polyester shirt, but it's doing all right. And that's been the hiking outfit. Day 3 now. I'll catch you up later. Look at that. So this might be the coolest view we're going to get on day 3 right here. Yeah, we got another partial view. The last, I don't know, 45 minutes or so has been kind of a ridge run. And it's not going to show up on video because it's just a partially obstructed view the whole time. But it's been super cool. The pace of the day today has been very nice. Just relaxed. It was an easygoing start. And took our time packing up and on the trail, you know, plenty of breaks. It's my favorite day out here so far. No joke, like 5 minutes ago, Jack turns around to me and says, "Hey, look, our first pine tree." And like, boom, all of a sudden, Bavarian Alps. All right, we made the 7-point-something mile hike to Double Spring Gap Shelter. I am tenting again, 3rd night now, in my tent, loving the duplex. This is this is definitely the tightest spot I've ever tried to set up in with any tent ever. But I crammed my stuff in there. I think it's level. If not, I'll end up tent surfing a little bit. You know how that goes. But I'll give you a peek inside the duplex so you can get a feel for that. So, there's me. Got the sleeping bag already laid out. Airing out. But you can tell this thing is slated as a 2-person tent. And, you know, you could fit 2 people in here, I guess. If you have a very tight relationship, and your gear would have to go in the vestibule, but in my mind, this is like the perfect size 1-person tent. Now we're cooking some dinner at Double Spring Shelter, and normally I do the Mountain House, but I'm trying something different on this trip. I got these peak meals, and what attracted me to them is the caloric value. The Mountain Houses, I want to say, hover around 600. This thing's coming in at 920. And it's like the exact same size as the Mountain House, so kind of a dubious claim. I don't know. But another nice thing about them is they only take 3/4 of a cup of water to make. So that reduces your water runs at the shelter. And they taste pretty good. So far I've had 2 of them, and flavor's compatible. So far so good. All right, September 20th. 65 degrees out. And I think we had a 10.5 today. It rained a little bit this morning while I was in my tent, but fortunately the rain has held off. But it's a soupy mess out here. Very foggy. We're on our way up to Clingmans Dome. But we got like a second kind of cool environment. It's kind of sad because this probably would have been our best view day, but still very majestic. All right, we're on top of Clingmans Dome. We made it. And if you ever wondered what it's like to stand inside a cloud, this is the visual. Total whiteout. Yeah, it is kind of cool. You can see the mist blowing by. But here's the crew.
It was quite a challenge, but it was exciting. Made it to the top.
Jeff?
All right.
All right. Yeah, it turns out you can drive a car here. We've been hiking for days. for nothing. So, we haven't had much long-range view luck today, but the trail is just gorgeous. Just has kind of a Pacific Northwest vibe that you don't get anywhere else. And it smells like Christmas. I don't know if the video footage is going to do it justice, but this is just like a super dense, ultra lush green, like coniferous forest. It's just visually stunning. All right, here is our water source. Literally water squirting out of a rock. It's almost biblical. All right, made it to Newfound Gap. Right back over here is the old Casa de Will. Spent 3 days in this bathroom about 1.5 years ago. Right down that path. All right, we already had a shuttle waiting at Newfound Gap, and I decided to try to hitchhike down to Cherokee just to have the full hiking experience. And I've been out here about 10 minutes now and no luck, and I'm maybe starting to regret that decision or get a little worried. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. I was starting to get worried, but it worked. Got a ride in, man. I'm like 0.3 from the hotel. Just gonna make my way over there now. I still got it, baby.